Enter the arena, Tommy Razorstein, the Don Juan Banks. UFC 192 is today. The main event will be Alexander Gustafsson fighting Daniel Cormier for the UFC light heavyweight championship. But the breaking news, Johny Hendricks, that was going to be fighting in the welterweight division against Tyron Woodley, had to be rushed to the emergency room because of an improper weight cut. Right now, we have Tommy Razorstein to talk about this developing situation. Can you give us your take on this situation?
It boggles the mind what is going on with Johny Hendricks. This guy continuously does stupid things where I don't know how he is an All-American in wrestling and just makes simple mistakes. I can't. This is wrestling 101, man. This is basic, simple wrestling. You make weight. You know how many times I missed weight, Don, and I had to pull out of a match?
How many?
Never. I've wrestled over 500 matches in the course of my life, and not once have I ever had to say, well, you know what, I missed weight. No, dude. Plus, so Johny Hendricks had to go through the same exact thing. Johny Hendricks had to do the same exact thing.
Johny Hendricks has had a history.
Why is he making a mistake now when he only has to make weight 2 or 3 times a year? But he can't make weight now? What the hell is wrong with him?
Let me read you this, Tommy. We got this live on the screen right now. According to Hendricks' manager, Ted Arnhart, Hendricks suffered a blockage.
A blockage?
In his intestines last night while cutting weight, as well as a kidney stone. He was rushed to the emergency room and had to be given an IV. UFC President Dana White announced via Twitter Friday morning that Tyron Woodley, was off due to Hendricks' weight cut issues. At Thursday's media day, Hendricks said he weighed 183 pounds, which he was happy with. The former UFC welterweight champion has struggled with weight cutting throughout his career, and earlier this year, he made headlines when he with famed MMA nutritionist Mike Dolce. The weight was coming off fine, and then yesterday, my body just started to shut down, Hendricks said. When it hit that point, I tried to push through it, and well, it didn't go well because I had to go to the emergency room.
I don't get Johny Hendricks. You know what? He might be cheating and trying to do something which is totally unnatural, which is causing him, not to be able to lose weight the way he wants to, and that's what's, doing this, because he's doing something wrong, Don. And you know what? He has a history of doing things wrong and stupid. And you know what I found when he last time he wrestled, he competed against Tyron Woodley. Did you hear this?
What?
Last time he wrestled Tyron Woodley, he did the cheapest, most dirtiest fucking thing in wrestling that you can do. And it is a horrible way to win a match. I've seen people do it. It happened to me. It's a horrible thing to do to somebody. Last time he was wrestling, competing against Tyron Woodley, he was wrestling Tyron, right? Mm-hmm. And he stuck his fingers in Tyron Woodley's mouth and put his fingers against his teeth to show an indent on his hands, and then show to the ref, look, he bit me. It happens all the time. What you do is face. Hey, dude, it happened to me, and I got disqualified. It drives you crazy. I didn't know when I was like 15 at the time. Someone cross-faced me, and like my mouth is open, and they stick your forearm right against the tip of your teeth, and then show the ref, oh, he bit me, and you get disqualified.
And clarify this a little bit more, Tom. The last time he competed against him was a wrestling match.
It was in a wrestling match, and
can you explain that to the fans? Because they might not know that he competed against him before in the past. But this is wrestling, not mixed martial arts.
Yes. Sorry, Don. I got explain.
Because first of all, Johny Hendricks is a complete idiot.
He's a complete idiot. All right, so let's clarify everything I'm saying. Last time, those two wrestled because they're both wrestlers. You know what I mean? They're both very good wrestlers. Johny Hendricks has a history of being a cheap guy in wrestling. If you follow Johny Hendricks, NCAA tournament, the people hate him. And I was like, why do people hate Johny Hendricks? You know what I mean? In NCAA championships. You know, that they follow like Johny Hendricks' wrestling career. He was always the villain. He was always the bad guy because he would always complain about little cheap things and like get like points and cheap points and all sorts of like shit he'd pull, which I didn't know at the time. I liked Johny Hendricks at first, but then I found out all the cheap shit he does and like why he's hated in the wrestling community in the NCAA championships. Why he was one of the villains. I don't get it. You know what I mean? And what he does is he cheats. He pulls little tactics. He pushes his forearm against your inside your mouth and then claims that so and so bit you.
Yeah.
So what happened was Tyron Woodley got accused of biting Johny Hendricks in the NCAA championship, and it was like a really close match. It was like 4-4, and the 1 point was given to Johny Hendricks because he claimed that Tyron Woodley bit him because he used that little cheap technique of putting your forearm against a person's mouth and causing an indent on your hand. So he showed the ref and he won the match by doing that little cheap shit. And he's done it multiple times. So he does all sorts of stupid shit, misses weight, and cheats. Man, when I found out that he was doing that to win matches, that's fucking low. That's real fucking low.
Are you insinuating that Johny Hendricks may have done this on purpose, not to compete against Tyron Woodley because of their past competition in wrestling?
No. I think he's doing something to his body to try and get a competitive edge, and he fucked it up. And he's trying to.
Drugs?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but like for him not to be able to make weight is ridiculous. NCAA champion. I don't get it. How can you not make weight? You only have to make weight twice.
How do you feel when you hear that he parted ways with, famous nutritionist Mike Dolce?
It doesn't make sense. Something is up. Something is wrong. And like the guy's a knucklehead too. I was a fan of him, and I put money on him in a big parlay. At the end of the parlay, I put money on him to beat George St. Pierre, and I think he did beat George St. Pierre, but he got really screwed over. But anyway, after he loses, remember that shit? He goes to the press conference. He's like, "Yeah, I only gave 70%." What? You only gave 70%?
70 fucking.
It's like he's talking to Dana White, and he's talking to everyone. And he has a can of dip, and he's spitting, chewing tobacco into a can, and it's like, what are you retarded? Dude, get that dip out of your mouth and claim that the refs fucked it up because they did, and the judges fucked it up because they did, and it's bullshit. Not spit in a can, chewing tobacco, and say you only gave 70%, and whatever. What are you doing?
Rush to the ER, Razorstein. Rush to the ER. Rush to the ER. Has to pull out of a mega bout. This bout was the main event of it was, I believe, the third fight. I really at this point have had it up to here with this man. Frustration. I can't put my frustration into words. The 70% after he fights Robbie Lawler, he says he shouldn't get a rematch. Hendricks said this: "I'm sorry, I'm learning and always will be learning about my weight." That's ridiculous, isn't it, Tom, at this point?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I'm sorry for this. It was going great until my body, he's basically just blaming it on his body, till my body started to shut down. And when that happened, I didn't want to stop because of the fans, but I want to fight again. And if I hurt my body too bad, I won't be able to. I want to say sorry. It won't happen again. and I will get better from this.
I don't get it, man. I really don't understand what's going on with Johny Hendricks. There's something up, and there's all sorts of red flags, and I can't nail it down. No one's able to really nail it down what's going on because there's something behind the scenes going on with Johny Hendricks.
How frustrated are you?
Remember that shit, John, when we were like, what the hell's going on with John Jones?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I ain't going to be some asshole who's going to be like, oh, no, I like this fighter, so I'm not going to say bad things about him. You know what I mean? I don't care. I'll do it to anybody. If Ronda Rousey starts acting up, I'll start questioning her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's one of my favorite fighters. I like Johny Hendricks. I even like John Jones in the beginning. But what the hell is Johny Hendricks doing now? I don't get it. There's a lot of red flags. He says a lot of stupid shit. It doesn't make sense. How do you miss weight?
And this is coming from MMA fighting. This is what Tyron Woodley had to say about this. And he says this: I'm always trying to look for the lesson in things and positive signs. I believe things happen for a reason. This is what Woodley is saying. I'm counting this as a loss for Hendricks. He says, you got to make weight. I'm sitting here at weight, wired, ready to wage war against Hendricks. And now I'm not going to get that opportunity. He says, hopefully I'm compensated accordingly, because this should be a strike against me. He said, it's almost as if I lost he says it's almost as if I lost if I just get show money. I could have been knocked out in the first minute and just get show money. I hope and pray I'm taken care of, because I had a lot of plans for that win money. He said, and I shouldn't have to fight anyone else, do anything else spectacular, nothing. I should be next for the title shot now. It's called professional mixed martial arts for a reason. There should be some level of professionalism involved. How do you feel about it? So you believe Woodley should fight Robbie Lawler or Carlos Condit if that fight happens, because that was postponed?
I don't know exactly who we can set him up with. Joe Silva will make that plan, and I think he should be compensated for being there on time.
With the same amount of money that he would have if he fought Hendricks, you're saying?
I'm not exactly sure, but he should be compensated. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Do you have any comment about the pay in mixed martial arts?
Well, I believe the fighters could be paid more, but I don't know all the numbers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know if they're making as much as the NBA or something. I would really like to know how much the organization is making, and thus we could show how much the fighters deserve to make. I mean, it's kind of crazy how low pay these guys get. I mean, someone like John Jones, who is the Michael Jordan of NBA or MMA, he should be getting paid the same much in theory, because they're on the same level of athletic ability. John Jones is that fucking good. He's a psychopath, but he's still that good. Like Ronda Rousey is still an amazing athlete. I think she's higher level than fucking Floyd Mayweather, where Floyd Mayweather is able to fucking explain, and bullshit his way into making that much money. He's a piece of trash. I hate Floyd.
Oh, shit, and he's a cheater. Listen,
he's a cheater. He's a racist. He's a bastard. He's a scumbag. And you know what? He beats women on the side. He's a piece of trash.
Tommy Razorstein, one thing I want to say right now, you've been here regularly. We will be returning into the arena November the 27th. Do you plan to continue to be regular?
Oh yeah, more so than ever right now. I have a lot of time to be able to focus my attention and target my ideas and apply the right setting and techniques and ideas of how I can explain techniques to the fan. That's what I like doing most.
People are very excited you're going to be here tonight.
You know that.
Yes, you're going to be here tonight on Google Hangout Live. We hope to have Corey on, Jerry on. Tonight, we want to give you the opportunity to speak about tonight's card. I'm going to give you the mic right now. We can start with the main event. Daniel Cormier, he came out and he said he had the best weight cut ever. Was that a slap in the face to Hendricks saying you need to get your shit together? I got my shit together and you didn't get your shit together.
He looked great, man. I thought DC looked great, didn't you?
I loved it.
That was the best DC I've ever seen. He doesn't look sunk in. You know what I mean? His face doesn't look all sunk in and fucked up like a skeleton, that one weight cut that he had. This weight cut, he looks good. Looks solid. Doesn't look like he's flabby. Like the last time he looked a little flabby and his face was sunk in. And it's like, that's not what you want. You want a flat stomach and a little bit of, you know, water reserved in your face. It's amazing what your face looks like when you dehydrate the fuck out of yourself. But he didn't. He didn't. He looked pretty good. I was happy how he looked.
Gustafsson, Cormier, official.
Oh man, I'm really interested in seeing what this clinch is going to be like. That's one of the main things that I look at. Clinch and takedowns.
Come on, we don't like this bullshit. Can you give us something here? I got DC.
You got DC?
Yeah. You just don't know.
Fuck it, I'll be an asshole and I'll go against you. How's that done?
Don't do that. I mean, to do what you feel. Well, don't make it official. Who are you leaning toward?
Well, officially, I was leaning forward DC. I haven't made an official.
You feel it's up because you feel it may be an upset here. Do you feel DC is going to get caught? How do you feel? Because DC's been against so many people, he never got caught. Why tonight?
Because DC's never seen this speed before.
But he'd seen the power of Anthony Johnson. He got through that.
Yeah, he did. He did well, but he never saw the speed. He's always been able to beat people on speed, and you know what? He weathered the Anthony Johnson storm, and weathering that storm is, you know, horrible onslaught. It's like a hurricane. It's crazy. But if you can weather that horrible hurricane that he brings out at you, then you might be able to, you know, compete and do well against him. It's like getting through that first minute against Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You know what I mean? And then it gets progressively easier. And that's how Anthony Johnson is. So I think that was a good game plan. But Gustafsson is going to be a different animal altogether. Gustafsson is going to bring a 5-round fucking war. And I don't think anyone's going to be submitted in it. I don't see a rear naked choke.
Yes, he can, because he lost to Phil Davis, and Phil Davis is a lower wrestler than Daniel Cormier. Cormier will choke this guy out in the 3rd round. Let's move on.
That was before, you know, he fought John Jones.
Who cares? He was just knocked out. He has no chin left. He's overrated. I love Gustafsson.
You think he's at 0 chin?
Yes, I feel that even with
0 chin, absolutely. I'm talking Mirko Kokov 0 chin.
Never be the same again. What happened in Sweden, you'll never be the same again. He took unnecessary punishment. The man was punch drunk.
Don, we have talked about this before. 0 chin. I'm talking fucking Mirko Kokov at the end, Chuck Liddell. You know, 0 chin.
I ain't saying he got 0 chin. I'm saying that.
What chin chin does he have?
50.
50? All right.
And even with his speed, once Cormier fires back, he won't be able to handle the wrestling at all. He will get dumped on his face. He'll be put on the ground. He will look like a baby in a fetal position. He'll be choked out, anaconda, whatever, and it's going to be over. I say 3 rounds at most. He's going to try to do his boxing. His legs are not that fast. I mean, establishing distance, he has not been able to establish distance against Anthony Johnson and was not able to recuperate in the right fashion. DC broke that down in his analysis of the Anthony Johnson versus Gustafsson fight, where he said that Gustafsson should have held on and backed up. He did not. He went to the ground. He got his face bashed in. And I think he did get headbutted. I'm going to say that. But DC will use finger pokes and headbutts. He will do whatever it takes to win.
You think he'll use John Jones finger pokes?
Of course. He poked Anthony Johnson in the eye. This is a street fight. You hold, and I will upload your video. And Nick Diaz, okay, said this is a street fight. You going to war. That's what he told the outside the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Mixed martial arts in a cage. I'm not going to call it human cockfighting, but I will say when you run your mouth like Chael Sonnen, that's the reason why Anderson Silva greased himself up and held the trunks. Yeah, people will hold your trunks. They will hold the cage. They will hit you low. They will finger poke you. They will headbutt you. They will do whatever it takes to win. DC will headbutt Anthony Johnson. Of course, he will. I mean, sorry, and Alexander Gustafsson. If I was fighting Gustafsson, I headbutt him too, just to see how he would react. If he falls, so what? I'll finish him off. So the thing I'm saying is, Gustafsson got this on a whim. He got granted. Okay, he got godfathered in. That's what they call when you don't have the credentials really to do something, you have the experience, they godfather you in, or they give you a doctrine degree. Okay, basically, you know, voluntary doctrine degree. They give you a degree from these colleges and stuff. Like Bill Cosby, he was never a real doctor. Bill Cosby was never. I thought all these years, Tommy, Bill Cosby was a doctor. I thought he went to college. He didn't go to college like you, Tommy Ragenstein, get a master's degree, or like me. They gave it to him. They gave it to him. And listen,
I didn't know. That's so funny. It's like, here, you're sure you can drink this? Trust me, I'm a doctor.
He's not a real doctor. He don't got a doctorate degree. And
hey. You can drink this. Go right ahead. Hey.
You need to watch mixed martial arts these days. Gustafsson got this from his performance at UFC 165 against John Jones. This is his last shot at greatness. Whatever you say he's going to do, he better do it, because I don't feel that he can. I got DC all the way, and then DC versus Rashad or Bader or John, because I think UFC gonna let Rashad or Bader be next and give John some more time.
All right, I'm gonna say this. DC is going to go out cold, Cosby style, in the third round, face down.
I hate the fact you're saying this. I don't like this Ragenstein. I don't like this Ragenstein.
He's going to be out cold, Cosby, in the third round.
Ain't no way that's going to happen. If Barnett couldn't do it, if Mir couldn't do it, if Munson couldn't do it, if all these guys couldn't fucking do it, why the fuck Gustafsson? And I love Gustafsson. I praised him like he was the second coming of Christ. But that time is over. He has been crucified. And the fact of the matter is, Gustafsson's last glimmer of hope is tonight, and it will be coming to an end. And that's about it. What about Rashad Bader? Do you feel upset here? Because Rashad has, Rashad
winning this fight.
It's been a long time. Bader will initiate that clinch. He will make it a wrestling match. Rashad loves that type of matchup. But what about he just finds out in that match he doesn't have it anymore?
Yeah, I understand that. The only thing that I'm concerned about this is the mental state of Rashad Evans. But technique, I'm going to give it to Rashad. I think he'll neutralize Bader with the wrestling, and it'll be more of a stand-up striking fight. Rashad has a great double leg takedown, and I think he'll be able to defend double leg takedowns and give double leg takedowns. It's like if you're really good at taking down people, you also develop a really good way of defending that takedown also. So the old Rashad that we know would beat the living shit out of Bader. It wouldn't even be close. Only thing is this the Rashad Evans that we know, the one that tore apart Tito Ortiz like he was nothing. I'm hoping it is, and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna put my expertise on it and say, yeah, this is the same Rashad. He's just ring rust, but he'll be able to weather that storm and beat Bader, who only wins by decisions. Slow, boring, fucking Bader decisions.
Wow.
Who wants to see Bader fight? Nobody. But he has 4 wins, and he's He's a name in the UFC who's a little bit different, but not flashy or anything. And there's a reason why they didn't give him a title shot, and they gave someone who lost their last fight a title shot, and not someone who has 4 wins in a row, because it's freaking boring. And his style, isn't interesting at all. I don't think that he's going to be able to make Rashad Evans break. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he'll break Rashad Evans. Do you think that he can break Rashad Evans? Don? Shit. Don. Fuck. Don. Don. Shit. Where's Don? That are not complete.